You're listening to the Spark Your Light podcast, episode number 250, How to Show Up as the Person You Want to Be. This episode is for you if you are on a personal growth journey and you see this version of you that you really want to be, the best version of yourself. The person who you can just imagine yourself being even in stressful situations, even when you experience challenges or setbacks. But sometimes you feel like you don't actually show up as that person because life rattles you sometimes and you sort of feel lost or distant from that best version of yourself. And you just want to know how you can reconnect with the best version of yourself, even during those times where you may lose that person. And if that's you, then you're in the right place. Today's episode is going to cover exactly that. As always, this episode is inspired by life and personal experience. I love sharing stories of my life because I know that maybe some of these things I share are just totally normal things that everyone experiences, but that's the magic, because if I experience this and it's totally normal, then you probably experience it too. And if there's something that has helped me in my personal growth journey, it could probably help you too. So I'm really grateful to be able to share these stories with you. So here's just another ordinary story from everyday life that taught me a very extraordinary lesson. I was feeling overwhelmed. This is probably the theme of every story recently. New momhood, a baby that has had many health conditions and is doing a lot better now. And it's so wonderful. And we're so happy. But it's been a journey. And I was overwhelmed. And my husband called me to see how my day was going. And when I think about the person I want to be the kind of person who just puts on her best face for the people that she loves. And it's not to say that I can never experience emotions I'm feeling. It's not to say that I can never, show, hey, I'm having a hard day or a bad day or this thing's happening. Of course, that's what the people you love are there for. And certain situations may call for that, where you need to process hard things, where you need to work through hard things, where you need an ear to listen. Absolutely. But on this particular day, it was none of that. It was just the normal, everyday overwhelm. Just a couple things building up in my head. I got to do this. I got to do this. When am I going to fit this in? And he called at the wrong time where I was in that thought spiral. And he just wanted to talk and say, how are you? How's your day? I'm at lunch. The sweetest thing ever. And I reacted. Reaction is normal. I think it's great to work on reaction and see how we can choose better strategies so that we don't react as often and we don't react as poorly. But it's also just a part of being a human being. So I reacted, and I was not mean or anything like that. I just said, oh, my day it's just going. I'm just getting through it. I'm super busy. I have a million things going on, and I'm trying to get through this busy phase right now because this week is extremely busy. And after this week, it's going to get a lot better. And I just need to get through this week. So he's like, okay. Totally. Is there anything I can do for you? So sweet. I'm like, no, it's all things that I have to do, which was the truth, really, because if you're breastfeeding your baby and if you're running your business, it really is all things I have to do, unfortunately, right? And so there's not much that I could receive support in. But that probably made him feel super helpless. And like, I didn't want to be on the phone with him. And so he's just like, okay, I'll let you go then. I don't want to, take up too much of your time if you're trying to get stuff done. And normally that's really great. Like if I say, hey, I'm working on a few things for my business. Can we talk later? Of course, I can set that boundary. But the person I wanted to be in this moment was a person who could take 5 minutes to talk to my husband at lunch and just chit chat and just be present. Because what's more important to me at the end of the day, getting everything done on my to-do list or having a really great marriage, right? And not that this one conversation would have any negative impact. Of course not. But it's just not the person I want to be, because the best version of ourselves is this, ultimate person that we see ourselves as. And if we want to be that person, it's going to require us to show up differently. And I realized it as soon as I hung up the phone. Do you ever do that? You hang up the phone with someone and you think, I shouldn't have said that. I do it with my mom a lot too. Mom, you're probably listening. I'm sorry that sometimes I say things that I probably shouldn't say because I'm frustrated. Moms love to give you all the advice and all the suggestions. Sometimes you're like, I can figure it out. I got it. I don't need your advice, or I don't want to follow that advice, right? I hope I don't do that to Michael, but I probably will, because I think that's just a mom thing, right? They have our best interests in mind and they always want to help us. So anyways, this is not the only time that I hang up the phone and I think to myself, oh, I wish I said this, or I wish I didn't say that. And what is so great about becoming the best version of yourself is that in every single moment, you have the power to choose again. If you don't like the way a certain situation went in your life, you are in control of you and you can change it. And while you can't go back in time, you can make a change to what happens next. And that's the magic. So in the situation with Richie, I called him back and I said, hi, I'm really sorry. Even though I have a lot going on and I am feeling overwhelmed, I'd absolutely love to talk to you about your day for a couple of minutes. And he said, no worries. Great. And it felt so good because I showed up as the person I wanted to be. And we got to chit chat for a couple minutes and I felt so good inside. And actually, this is so great. I got to go back to my day without that overwhelm. And I approached the things that happened next in my day better. I was able to handle them more efficiently, more effectively, more positively, more presently. Overall, I just had a way better rest of my day because I chose the person I wanted to be in that moment. And what I think is so great about that is that so many of us, we wait. We think, well, today's just not a good day. Tomorrow will be better. Stop saying that. That's another phrase you want to remove from your vocabulary. Tomorrow will be better. Today can be better because you are in control of you. And this moment can be the first moment that you change. So today got better because I chose to be a better version of myself. And I didn't have to go back in time. We often think we have to go back in time, but we don't. I lived that moment for a reason. I lived that moment to remind me of who I'm becoming, of who I want to be, and that I can choose to be that person in every single moment, despite what is going on. And you have the same power in your hands. So the next time you are going through a situation in your life and you realize that you're not being the best version of yourself, the person you want to be, you can change it today. If you want to be the person that exercises 5 days a week and it's 9 p.m. and you're tired and you skipped your workout and you're like, tomorrow will be better. What if instead of having an all or nothing mindset, you decided, you know what? Today can be better. I'm just going to do some stretches, do some yoga for 15 minutes before bed. And I guarantee you're going to feel so much better and so much happier and more connected with the best version of yourself from choosing that 15 minutes than you will by waiting until tomorrow. Sometimes it's easy to think that we'll feel better if we just make a change in the future. But ultimately, the choice is in your hands to make a change right now, today, to fix anything that's not going your way. And it doesn't have to be the all or nothing. It doesn't have to be perfect. Much of becoming the best version of ourselves is dropping the perfectionism and instead leaning into the present moment, leaning into the reality of the circumstances. I talk a lot about resilience and flexibility. One of the biggest things is, okay, well, this is how my day went. It is 9 p.m. I want to be in bed by 10 because that's what makes me feel best. So ultimately, I have an hour and I want to take a shower. I want to read a couple pages in my book, maybe spend some time with my husband. And so this is what I have space for. And this is what I'm going to do today. And that's what it's about. It's about making the best of your present circumstances in this moment, in spite of whatever happened leading up to this moment. And that is how you connect with the best version of yourself. You decide to become that person in this very moment, even if you weren't that person 3 seconds ago. Every single moment is another opportunity to choose again and become the person that you want to be. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I hope that it inspires you to connect with that person because I am telling you, it feels so good, and a 3-minute shift can change your entire day, your entire mindset, your week, your month, your year. And imagine that's just one shift, but imagine what happens when you make that shift over and over and over again. You start to create a life that you love and become a person that you're proud of. And that's what it's all about. So the magic is in the palm of your hands right now. All you have to do is tap into it. Thanks again for being a loyal listener of Spark Your Light or a new listener if you are just finding the show. I totally forgot to mention it in the beginning. I'm so sorry, but this episode is on video. If you want to check it out on YouTube, I'd love to hear about your experience watching the video episodes. If you like them, if you want more of them, if you want me to continue recording video episodes of the podcasts. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next episode.